So that's kind of all we did. We packed some shoe boxes, we took them to St. Stephen's. Okay, that's a good way to start. The next year
we went on to try and pack more boxes, and that's one of our things is pack one more. Just pack one more box, and that was kind of our mindset at that time, was to just pack one more box for these kids. We ended up not going to the processing center that year, but then the very next year, we opened this ministry up to the whole church, and with that came a trip to the processing center, and that's really when this ministry took off here, and we began to get the older people involved, and the kids in our youth group and the kids in Sunday school, and ever since then it's just kind of rocketed. We've gotten to the point where our youth leaders, our youth, our Sunday school children, our Sunday school teachers, our pastor, people in our congregation who are just blown away by this ministry and so overtaken by it. And that's just kind of where it all started for us.
And like she said, we've continued to grow. Each and every year, something new has come about. Each and every year, something that we had prayed about and wanted to add to this ministry has happened. We prayed for a couple years about wanting to do fishing kits. Last year, and I don't think he's here, but last year, Mr. CB in our congregation helped that come to life. He took an idea that I found on Pinterest and just one day showed up with a shoebox full of fishing poles. And you'd have thought it was Christmas, and he had just handed me $1 million. I was so excited to have these PVC pipe fishing poles, and I didn't have to make them. Things like that. We have a lady in our congregation who, from the beginning, started sewing our toiletry kits that you'll learn about in the back. And then this year, we've had new people learn how to make those same toiletry kits so that we can continue that ministry. So it's not just on that one lady that every time I got washcloths in would take them home, and then one Sunday I would walk in and there would be a bag of finished toiletry kits ready to be packed. So it takes every single part, just like it takes to raise a child, it takes a village to make these shoe boxes. And that's one reason we have kind of this theme of putting these hats. And my good friend Miss Beth, she's been knitting these hats for us since we started. One year she told me, I'm going to make 100 hats. And she made 100 hats. And we put 100 hats in those shoe boxes. Last year we had so many hats, we took extra hats to the processing center for filler items. So when you have dedicated people in your community and in your congregation that make things like that happen, that's amazing. We not only did our own boxes, but we also took additional items to help with other boxes. So we put those hats on those shoe boxes and we give them kind of their reserved seating so that you look at them as a child. It's not just a shoe box. It's the child that God's already decided is going to receive that box before you've even packed it. Before you've even thought about your list of what you want to put in that box, He's already decided who your box belongs to and what your box's journey is going to be. And that's why we love this ministry. That's why we're year-round volunteers. That's why our church is beyond this ministry. And the final kind of portion that happened last year, we were blessed with a new youth pastor and his wife that also caught the fire for this ministry. And so that ministry has went to a completely another level, because it wasn't somebody in the congregation urging youth to participate. It was the youth saying, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it. And we're not just going to pack boxes, we're going to sew things for boxes, we're going to do this for boxes. And you'll learn a little bit more about that in the back as well. But we just wanted to share a little bit with you about why we love OCC, why you should love OCC, and that it's not about the toys and the trinkets and the coloring books and the crayons. It's about everything else that you put in that box, everything that they get besides what's in that box. Some people don't know this, but they're called go boxes, and they're called go boxes because they're
gospel opportunities.
Gospel opportunities. So each one of those shoe boxes are a child, and each one of those shoe boxes are not only a gospel opportunity but for that child, but for that child's family. And there's so many videos you can watch and so many things that you can learn, but what you put in that box makes a difference from one family to another family to another family. I've seen videos of box recipients that are now pastors or are now teachers teaching that same opportunity to new box recipients. So pray for that box. Know who that, God already knows who that child is, and you haven't even touched the shoebox yet. Anything else?
No, I think